On his long journey to the White House, we've seen the evolution of Mitt Romney, the candidate.
And I fought against long odds in a deep blue state, but I was a severely conservative Republican governor.
On the day of an election he has a real chance of winning, it's time to consider what Mitt Romney, the president, would do.
Washington is broken. I know what it takes to get this country back, and we'll work with good Democrats and good Republicans to do that.
America's always been basically a center-right country. I don't think that's changed much, and I don't think you'll see a Mr. Romney drag it radically to the right, because that's not really him.
We don't know who the real Mitt Romney is. Who he is seems to depend upon who he's talking to, which constituency he aims to please.
In the days before the election and after Sandy, Washington has been a pretty gloomy place. Quite why anyone would want to run this town is a bit of a mystery. But if Mr. Romney does win, it will be precisely because he has capitalized on America's uncharacteristically pessimistic mood, promising a stronger, sunnier vision of the future, fueled by conservative faith in lower taxes and less regulation.
Those people in this country who want real change from day one are going to vote for Paul Ryan and myself. And I need your help doing that.
How does America change if Mitt Romney is president?
I think America changes in two significant ways. The first is he does try to do a tax reform that's long overdue. We haven't had a significant tax reform in the United States since 1986. And the second is, what is the future of the safety net and the old age and low-income programs? There's a very different vision there.
Romney has said that he wants to return federal spending to 20% of GDP. Under President Obama, it was at 24%. What this really means is that you're going to have trillions of dollars that otherwise would have been spent for domestic programs, for education policy, transportation, that are going to be curtailed.
In the waning hours of his bid for the White House, Mitt Romney has pitched himself as the candidate of compromise. He talks about working with good Democrats to get America moving again. And it is exactly what this bitterly divided country really needs. But there's a hitch. His very policy priorities may make that compromise simply impossible.
What the court did not do on its last day in session, I will do on my first day if elected President of the United States. And that is, I will act to repeal Obamacare.
Mr. Obama's experience on Capitol Hill should be a warning. The odds are that even if Mr. Romney wins the White House, he won't have a free governing hand. He'll probably have to share power with Tea Party conservatives in the House of Representatives who'll try to pull him to the right, and with grumpy, election-sore Democrats in the Senate who will try to pull him to the left. On the issues of taxes and spending, compromise, what compromise, seems to be the attitude of Democrats.
None of these issues is the kind of issue that is negotiable for Democrats. So when Mitt Romney says he looks forward to cooperating with good Democrats, I don't know what his definition of a good Democrat is, other than someone who will abandon the core principles of the Democratic Party.
And if their president is relegated to the heap of one-term losers, Democrats will be in no mood to play nice on anything Mr. Romney wants to do.
Thank you for being here this evening.
When he's done repealing Obamacare, Mr. Romney promises to take on China. It's clearly going to be a busy first day.
On day one, I will label China a currency manipulator.
On this, he does have more room for acting without Congress, and his tough language on Beijing wins him a lot of support at home, even if it does carry the risk of sparking a trade war.
It's been a great talking point for the campaign, but I think it's a lot more difficult to deal with the manipulation of currency with the Chinese in particular, being in the Oval Office, than it is, of course, being on the campaign trail. So for day one, no.
Abroad as at home, the most powerful man in the world is perhaps less powerful than he seems. Whoever wins next Tuesday must operate within a limited bandwidth. That's not to say there aren't real differences, but as Mr. Obama has found, offering whole-scale change is a promise that's hard to live up to.
I think one of the ironies of this election is it's not going to matter what you want to do. It's going to be what do circumstances require that you do. So in fixing those problems, which they're going to have to do, they don't have a choice, they then get to impose their tastes in the kinds of policies we pursue. That's going to be a compromise.
The forecast is dramatic. Within hours of the election, the new president will face a political storm that tests his ability to compromise. Democrats and Republicans must negotiate a budget deal by the 1st of January or send the country back into recession. How he handles that will give us a much clearer sense of what America will look like under a President Mitt Romney.